Sup guys, so for today's video, just gonna be talking about how Zackray won a Japanese national with like week 2 Sora. And both how Zackray's playing the character and the matchups and just like general things about it, because this was kinda nuts, right? And so this is Kagabiri 4, I might have killed the pronunciation. I'll have a link for the tournament stream from YouTube in the in the description of the video. Yeah, so 5 to 12 person tournament featuring pretty much all of Japan's best, like Shuton, Porto Banham, Atelier, T. Like I think most like of the top players in Japan were here, if not all of them. So really stacked event, and Zackray ran through Shuton, Choco. Who else? Let me just. I can do this actually. I can look at the matches. Shuton, Choco. Oh, there was a comment that had all the matches. Oh, here it is. Okay. Kome. And I think that was like it in like the top bracket. When you just win a bracket through winners, you don't run into that many players, especially because he forced Shuton twice. But like, you know, very good competition, and just showcase how like good Sora is. So what Zackray did a lot with Sora is, so I thought Sora was gonna be more of like kind of like a zoning based like Sora with his projectiles, nice range, but the floatiness meant he could like kind of jump there or drift around safely, but had trouble approaching. And throughout these games, I did see Sora's difficulty in approaching be a bit of an issue. Zackray kind of did a lot of just like run up shield and like play the mix-up game of like, alright, you have to deal with Sora's show game, which is pretty solid to be fair. Up B, Nair, up smash if someone really messes up, and then just like jumping into Sora's absurdly good aerials is a pretty solid shield game that you don't want to like mess with if you have most characters. And then he used that a lot. He used back air to space all out, which honestly, I underrated back air heavily. I thought that move wouldn't be that good when Sora came out, but it like might be his best aerial in neutral. It's actually really nuts. So he used a lot of back air to outspace people. A lot of just the run up shield to like take space and make people go, hey, do you really want to mess with me like doing things as shield? Especially because like that neutral air like is such a good button. Like if you're close, the neutral air mix-ups are absolutely insane. And honestly, Zackray's conversions with Sora weren't even that like great. Like he didn't get like a lot of the technical like nair, like fast fall up tilt, up air stuff, like the nair loops on people. I don't think he knew like the thing is like how rage affects the neutral air and the combo game with it. But he was doing like a lot of work with the character despite that. What else was there? He really utilized dash attack too. Like, he was constantly throwing people with dash attack if they ever whiffed anything, it felt like. And that was such a big deal. And then we started using that a lot, and people were respecting, like, oh my god, the aerials, the neutral, like, the dash attack. He would just start running up and grabbing people, or tomahawking people, because Sora's tomahawk game is absurd. Dude, how absurd, like, he is just up close in the air. So Zackray ended up grabbing people a lot more than I think, considering Sora's grab range is kind of low, and his grab game overall is not that strong. Like, he has back throw at kill percents, up throw at super high percents. He does have some down throw combos, like down throw up air, which is actually pretty nice. Now, I'm not just saying, I'm like, wait, that just underrated how good having a down throw up air at like a big percent when including kill percents is. But yeah, so you got a lot of grabs with Sora, and was really utilizing that super well. He utilized the fire quite a bit to get openings. Like, he did like a lot of like Firago 1, then like run up to someone, like maybe like space an aerial, maybe shield, maybe roll in. Like, nothing particularly crazy. He didn't get like many like Firaga confirms, like no like Firaga side Bs. But he used that quite a bit to find his openings. Generally, he wasn't using Thundaga too much. He mostly just kind of like with Thundaga when the opponent wasn't near him, so he could just dump it basically. And then Blizzaga was generally his best spell. He'd use like Blizzaga a lot, like out of disadvantage to like catch people slipping, use it for ledge trapping, he really used it for like everything. And even though it was like Blizzaga confirms, like after freeze people weren't that great, the damage itself and the space control and advantage state like it gives was more than worth it. When it came to disadvantage state, he was really good at just mixing up like swinging at disadvantage, because Sora like swinging at disadvantage is really annoying. With his massive hitboxes that are like pretty safe. Like honestly, his aerials don't have too much lag, and Sora's air drift, while he's not that fast in the air, it's like he has super high air acceleration, so he's able to drift back and forth super easily. So like you have to guess even when he's like landing at disadvantage with an aerial, if he could drift at you or drift away. And that was hard like to deal with for a lot of people. Combined with the counter being like a nice like way to check people being too aggressive, drift back with projectiles, and just choosing like go to the ledge or platformers or whatever. And of course Sora's off stage game being edge guardable but very hard to edge guard. It was like really hard to keep Zackray in disadvantage. I noticed you would get hit and it was like not a big deal a lot of times. And then Zackray's advantage with Sora is insane. He used that upper so well. Like he was constantly like not just in neutral, like calling people out like in neutral with like jump up airs, but like in advantage, like he's just like getting underneath people, up airing from below, from the side, using rising up air like as a combo tool, a punish tool, using like short up falling up air set frame traps, like short up falling up air into like jab, made like full up air, the air dodge, and then like nair them or up air them again, and constantly abusing that move really well. He was also using a lot, actually, now I remembered seeing it, a lot of shield drop dash grab to punish people holding shield a bit too much near him. When like he was shielding, kind of like when the Mario players would be like, you know, shielding next to you and then like they'll drop shield dash grab you because you're expecting up B and up smash. Just a little side notice to it. Yeah, like holding the advantage super well. Obviously you see right there like using like the forward airs as well, like kind of frame trap people and catch them drifting away, and really getting aggressive with edge guards. You won't see an edge guard every stock, but like he had no problem going off stage with Sora and like forward airing people, countering people, countering people. Was even using like the down airs or like back airs super well yet. So yeah, that was just kind of the overview of how he would like play Sora. Oh, I should mention he was quite a bit of down tilt. There wasn't like any specific spot I noticed he used down tilt in, but I noticed he would kind of just like run around and just be like sometimes like run up down tilt or run back like turn around down tilt to catch various options of people just slipping on the ground, and it was pretty effective, more than I would think. As you see right there, it's also a good punish tool because it let the combos. You got like a few like down tilt up smashes as well, and trying to think else like Zackray did with the Sora that was really good. But overall, I think overall Zackray kind of showcased like Sora as like a kind of a sort of approaching, but spaces really well. And when he gets closer to you, he can start mixing with like neutral air, forward air, up air, frame traps, and like grabs and dash attacks and down tilts. He's really scary because the character kills pretty well. It's pretty good damage. You know, he's not like killing it absurd percentage generally or bringing like these crazy combos. It's like it's consistent enough combos and setups and pressure that he's like actually insanely good at mixing you when he's up close. He also like using the forward tilt a bit to like 2-frame, which I feel like it doesn't look like a good move, but like Zackray made it work. Uses a lot of neutral air for ledge trapping, which is kind of what I'd imagine, just like run up shield and like neutral air various options, mix it up with Blizzaga, occasional forward tilting, and you have a very solid ledge game that's pretty safe because of all the range Sora has. I will say, I would have liked to see Zackray fighting more Sora's bad matchups because you ran into like Olimar. From my little experience playing the matchup, I hated as Olimar, I detest it, and I love it as Sora. Now, yes, Sora does have to approach in Olimar's Pikmin toss, which is very annoying because he has like no great like answer to Pikmin. Just, you know, jump in the air is pretty decent, but like he has to approach into it, and Sora isn't the best at approaching. But the matchup still looked and feels super bad for Olimar. Each matchup looks surprisingly like even-ish. Like Aegis can overwhelm Olimar with her speed, of course. Well, Mythra with her speed, and then like Pyra honestly isn't that big of a deal for Sora. But like because he just has to approach into Sora, and I think Sora is really good when he's like forcing people to approach with his spacing. That was kind of problematic. He fought Komei Shulk, and that matchup looked pretty fine for Sora. Like even though, you know, Shulk has bigger sword range, Sora's aim ability is really annoying for Shulk. Although it just is like pretty fast like buttons, or fast enough buttons. And projectile games. That matchup looked pretty good for Sora, honestly. But Choco Zero's too, and that matchup I would think is annoying. But because Sora's show game is pretty annoying and like Zero Sora struggles with people using show buff, and then like just having like a lot of like big sword hitboxes covering himself, it's like hard for Zero Sora to mount pressure on Sora, I noticed. So that matchup also looked pretty solid. So I would love to see like Zackray fighting like the good Samus player that was here, or like SCG, the Diddy Kong player. Yeah, SCG Diddy Kong player. I know we fought a Mima player at a local a couple days before this, and he beat him. It's the second set he played him, but lost in the first set. And that Mima matchup looked kind of rough. So I would like to see Zackray fight more of the matchups that everyone says can be hard for Sora, like just most projectile characters. But regardless, winning a 512 person event with solo Sora 2 weeks with the character being out is crazy on Zackray's part, but also a really good indication of how strong the character is. And if you're trying to learn how to play Sora, don't skip these VODs. Yeah, y'all. Hope this was like a nice little insight from my analysis of Zackray, and I will catch you all later.